The main role of the LST is to work on the individual education plan. So that individual education plan highlights strengths and weaknesses for students and also outlines the accommodations that they're going to get instructionally, environmentally, and on the assessments when they're being tested in the final end product.
Sometimes these students, what will also be recommended for them is an individual education plan or an IEP, and the parent has a role in that as well. The school will write an IEP, and the SLP may be part of coming up with some goals and some strategies, and the parent is always invited to be part of the IEP process, either involved in writing it or giving their consent with what's been written. But that's another important role for the parent to play for these students.
He was part-time principal, vice principal, part-time LST, and he was amazing. He sat down with me and he explained everything, and there was another change that I wanted done. He said, no problem, come on in, we'll sit down. We discussed it. His first IEP last year, we did, I think, 3 or 4 times before I was completely satisfied with the end result.
Since they've got him on an IEP and an individual education plan, he's been doing fairly well. He's participating, he's doing presentations because he uses a computerized device to help him talk.
The IEP is discussed as a living, breathing document, and it should change. The need of a student in grade 9 is not going to be the same as the need of the student in grade 12.
Now, some students who do have other diagnoses or have a significant language impairment, they may end up with what's called an identification. So under the Ministry of Education, there's a few identifications that would identify the student as exceptional. Examples of this would be learning disability, autism, physical disability. So some of the students that the SLPs are involved with may eventually end up with an autism identification or a learning disability identification if they've had other assessments that would confirm that. With students who have language impairments, or speech impairments, if they are severe enough, there's also an identification of language impairment and also speech impairment. And as a parent, obviously, you want to know all that's being said and discussed and decided for your child. So it's definitely a process you'd want to be a part of.
With the IPRC process, with both of our children, I requested the IPRC. Through our experience with the IEP, I did research through the Ministry of Education and on the Thames Valley School Board website.
In terms of parental involvement in the IPRC process, it's always really important that the parents do feel that they play a role and they keep engaged, even all through the high school level. Even though it feels like the groundwork has been laid, it's really important to be involved in the meetings so that the school knows that the parent is there, and it gives the school a comfort level that they can have a communication with the parent. If I could summarize what's key in terms of IPRCs and IEPs, I would have to say that the more well-informed a parent is about the processes around special education, the better they are in terms of being able to be a positive partner with the school and with the school board.